Apes, we meet yet again on another weekend to talk about an important news event that did just come out for AMC stock. And this is another true game changer for AMC as a business, a fundamental type catalyst. But at the same time, this furthermore suggests the thesis that the short thesis overall is pretty much evaporated at this point, at this current moment in time. So that is very important. That's something we're going to talk about extensively in this video, but also go over the Evergrande default that is going to be happening next week. They owe $82 billion worth of bond interest payments. They are going to default. We are looking at a total liquidation situation unless the Chinese government does step in. And this is coming at a critical time where the markets have since peaked and are now coming down even under our 50-day moving average, which we will talk about. But at the same time, we have Jerome Powell speaking next week about possibly tapering on bond purchases. So all in all, this next upcoming week is going to be a very volatile one, especially for AMC, because as we do know already, if you are following this channel, you know what is ultimately going to cause the big shorts. I'm talking the Citadel size hedge funds to be forced to cover because, quite frankly, with a Citadel size portfolio of $250 billion, do you think they would ever be forced to cover? They would never be forced to cover unless the market does come down. Some people disagree with this. I would love to hear some factual information that you guys do have that would support the markets not coming down in the near term future. I'm talking within the next 3 to 6 months. I would love to hear that from you guys, but I am not seeing one sign that would point to the markets are not going to go through a liquidation phase, whether it's a simple 10% correction or a 25% stock market crash. Nobody knows the significance of this, but we do know the red flags that are right in front of us. So that is a recap, or really what we're going to be going over in this video. So let's get straight into it. The first thing that I do want to point out before anything else is here is Madison. I did get an update of a picture, and it is a big U with just staples. It's really, really bad, so I don't think I can show it on YouTube, but she was in a rollover crash, no drinking, anything like that. Toxicology report came back good. I don't know what happened with the car. Witnesses said they flipped about 10 to 12 times, and I don't even know how that's possible, but that's what they said. And it's brain bleed, broken humerus. She's not going to be able to work for probably a year, if I were to imagine. Gnarly scar. Something I can't even show it on YouTube. I'll probably get demonetized or shadow banned, or I would do that for you guys. But if you guys do want to donate $2,000 goal, that is linked in the pin comment. So I love and appreciate every single one of you guys. Most of this money has actually come from you guys. So love the community here and the continued support. Her family wanted to say they appreciate every single one of you guys as well. So let's get into this situation. What is going on with AMC and this new announcement, guys? They are going to be playing NFL football in AMC theaters each Sunday. Why this is so big is because this is giving people an even bigger reason to go to AMC. You can drink at the theaters, get with your buddies, go watch the football games. Incentivizing people to actually go to theaters. That's half the battle, is getting people to want to go to the theaters. I know me and my buddies, we're going to do this when it does come to my area here in Michigan. So I think that's overall a great fundamental thing that they're doing for the business. Just shows investors they are still innovating, growing revenue streams and sources. But at the same time, it really does just demolish the whole short thesis on AMC stock. You can't be super bearish on a stock when they are doing everything, coming up with fantastic ideas to drive more revenue. It will be a couple quarters before we do see this revenue increase, like I do expect it to happen. But once the short thesis is really gone for AMC and we are still trading at these lower prices, right, about $40, relatively low. AMC in 2015 was about $30 on a reasonable valuation. So it's going to get to that level where there is no short thesis. You would actually want to go long on the stock instead of short the stock. So that is the situation with that. That is the big announcement. I think that is huge for the short squeeze as well as a fundamental catalyst. But let's talk about what is happening next week. And Fed Jerome Powell, he does speak on Friday, but you do also have the FOMC meeting that is on Wednesday. So it's going to be a very volatile week. Investors are going to be all eyes on the Fed next week. And we already know the markets are getting choppy. We were down about 1% in the S&P and the NASDAQ on Friday, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropping 0.5%. And if the Dow is dropping 0.5%, that is typically seen as the rush to safety. So even if that is dropping, there is a lot of fearful investors, and that is something that is very obvious. Also, if we do take a look at the S&P 500 chart, just pull this out to the last year, it's very obvious we are overdue for at least a 5 to 10% correction in the S&P 500. That's why I say, if you guys have any factual information to provide, not just saying the markets can't come down, because I mean, if you start investing in 2021, it sure seems like the markets can't go down, but eventually it will have to happen. Let me know your guys' time frame on this. When do you think it will happen? I want to hear all your guys' opinions on this topic. So if you guys are hearing me right now, make sure to comment down below. Let me know your opinions on this. Very, very, very important that you do so. But we did see this peak out about September 3rd at $4,536 on the S&P. We have since fallen about 100 points on the S&P, now at $4,432.99. We are actually under this 50-day moving average. If I go ahead and pull this up on the Webull, this is a huge level investors have been watching for basically this whole year of 2021. If you pull it out to the daily candlestick chart, you can see ever since November we rallied above this. We have touched this a total of 10 times now, but we actually did close slightly under this, which has only happened once right there. Low ticked it right there, once right there. So we've only closed under this 2 times in the last last pretty much all of 2021, basically the last year in November. So this could be a big deal if we do gap down throughout the beginning of next week, especially what happens with Jerome Powell. It could be a very bloody situation. But obviously, I wouldn't expect that. Nobody knows what the markets are going to do, but this is what the data and information is telling us. Also, we have to talk about this Evergrande situation, and exactly what this is a property development company. They are a huge company. They have $300 billion worth of debt. $82 billion of that is going to be due on the 23rd. The 23rd is Thursday of next week. They are going to 100% default if the Chinese government does not step in and save them. I do think it is very unlikely they are going to, given all the regulations and crackdowns they have been doing on all of their businesses. I think if China's going to think to themselves, if they let themselves get into such a bad situation, we're not going to bail them out. We don't want that to continue to be the status quo and what companies should expect from us. But just to give you guys a reference of how big this is, Evergrande currently has 1,300 real estate projects in 280 cities in China, according to its website. It does say has approximately 2,800 projects in 310 cities in China, encompassing a total contract area of more than 680 million square meters, according to the firm's website. They have a lot of ambitious things that they did want to do, but their sales have been going down since September, about 15 to 20% per month. So let's continue down. This is a very long article, so I will actually link this down below in the description as well. This says, got it. So how much trouble is Evergrande in? Some 300 billion of it, according to liabilities listed by the company. And Evergrande's inability to make timely payments on its interest and principal amounts of its loans has investors inside and outside of China worried for a big reason. This number right here, $300 billion of liabilities, is very important when we are considering what happened in America and what happened in China, specifically in 2008. America really led the way down for the global financial crisis. One of the big tipping points was when Lehman Brothers did go bankrupt in 2008. They had $619 billion of liabilities. So we're looking at a company that has half the amount of liabilities as Lehman Brothers, which basically helped collapse the global financial markets in 2008. And why is this significant? There is going to be thousands or millions of investors, contractors, you heard that, over 1,200 or 1,800 projects that are not going to be funded for. They're basically going to have to shut down and get liquidated. So this is going to be a major market event. It overall is going to make investors very worried about the state of the economy. And that can sometimes be worse than what actually would happen due to a fallout with Evergrande. If Evergrande going bankrupt really makes investors take a step back and say, what is really going on in our economies, that's going to be a very bad sign if investors do get fearful. Now, just to confirm what I was saying, let's go down here. It says that's the billion-dollar question. Evergrande has about 84 billion in dollar bond interest due September 23rd. That is in our dollars. 84 billion. That is what, about 20% of all of their debt is due September 23rd. They're not going to have the capital to pay this. They're going to default. It's going to be a very bad situation. Everybody's going to be talking about this. If you have not heard about this already, this could be another catalyst for the overall markets. And what I was saying earlier, America and China, since China is the second largest economy, they are very linked. What happened in America set back China, right? The whole world, basically. What happens in China is likely to set back the American market. So that is really what you guys need to know from this. Just the significance compared to Lehman Brothers is huge. So that is basically all I do want to cover in this video. But briefly, if you guys are unaware, I obviously went over it in the beginning of this video, but you guys got to think about AMC as a whole with hedge funds that have thousands of other positions. When these hedge funds that are really over about $100 billion, very large hedge funds like Citadel, close to $500 billion, if they have a massive short position on AMC could still go to $1,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. They would not be forcefully liquidated because they have so much money. Now, consider if the market goes down 25% and then AMC does start to skyrocket, because think about it like a stair step. You have the smaller institutions that are going to be covering along the way. And for each one that starts to cover, the share price goes up higher, causing the middle flight of stairs, right, to start covering and then ultimately get up to these super high prices once the collateral of the overall market or just the overall markets do start to come down. Margin requirements go up. And then that's where you get that situation where the big guys are forced to cover. If that does not happen, the big guys will never be forced to cover. They could pay the 3% cost to borrow any day of the week and stay in their massively over leveraged short positions. So that is really what you guys need to know from this video. Hopefully you guys took some value away from this. I really want to know, like I said, again, your guys' opinion on this situation. So drop that like on the video, consider subscribing, all that good stuff if you guys want to, but check out the link down below in the description. I'm going to be making a trade next week to the downside to protect my portfolio. AMC could be a reasonable hedge, so I might make a trade on AMC if we do start to get indications that some of those shorts are actually starting to cover, those smaller shorts. So be tuned for that. But that is basically all I do have for this video. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you in the next one.